The following content is sponsored and does not necessarily reflect the views of WATD Radio. Now, Paul Ponders on 95.9 WATD. Be a part of the show. Call or text 781-837-4900. Now, here's your host, Paul Solano.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome. And thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. My name is Paul Solano of the P&S Marketing Group, and as you probably already know, I also wear another hat as General Manager of Pearl Street Station Restaurant in Malden. And a huge shout out to Chef Felipe Fitzpatrick and his culinary team. Chef Felipe is a loyal listener through the Odyssey app. So hello to Chef Felipe. And as always, we have lots of activity at Pearl Street Station this huge reunion weekend. I know I always say it, but it is true. As Malden's longest running restaurant of 40 years, we have an incredible staying power in the greater Boston area and the North Shore. Please venture over the Zakin Bridge and visit us. And a huge shout out, of course, to my team of Chef Felipe, Chef Joaquin, and Pizziola Muhammad for holding down the fort with my great 1209 staff of John, Jen, Nicole, and Dennis. Now, this is show number 52, and it is an absolute honor and pleasure to be on WATD in the slot of the Boiling Point with Arthur Boyle. And with us in studio is my executive consultant of the Paul Ponders radio show, Arthur Boyle. Welcome back, Arthur.
You sound great, Paul.
Thank you. Well, I had a... Oh, thank you, Tim, behind the glass. But Arthur, how are you?
I'm very well, and Tim is doing very well, too. He still looks like he's 25.
Yes. Oh, without a doubt.
Thank you. Sorry, my audience is a little AI today. It's kind of they're not they're trying to clap, but they had a little trouble there. They were applauding for you, Arthur. Nice to have you in studio today.
It's nice to be in the studio today, and I said we jump right into it, and I'm just so glad that I don't live in Medford with the proposal that they have $1 million they can save by picking up every other trash week rather than every trash week. That I said, who's going to pay the exterminator?
Right, I know it. Isn't that serious? Yeah,
I thought it was a joke. You're right. I thought somebody was kidding around.
April Fools, right? April Fool's Day joke. We're going to pick up your trash every other week.
Yeah, if you're dissatisfied, double your trash pack.
I guess so, absolutely. But Tim, while you're on, I know you're going to be calling Shelley shortly. But how was your Thanksgiving?
It was very nice, thank you. Lots of good food and great stories with the family, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And how'd that green bean casserole work out?
Oh, it was great. I don't worry about any of the food made in our house. It always comes out the way it should.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And we have lots to be thankful for, and really just a tremendous time of year. Really, every day is Thanksgiving, but it's really nice to bring family and friends together.
Yes, it is.
Indeed,
yes.
Indeed. So, Arthur, what's been going on in Pembroke?
Well, as recently as Thursday, Pembroke lost to Silver Lake in the Sunday, the Turkey Day war at the shore. It's fun to be around, the kids and the students, and I made it to another game too, and it's just like being a kid, being 17 or 18 again for a couple of hours, and it's going to get better as the kids get older.
Absolutely. So how many years has the Pembroke Silver Lake region rivalry been going on?
2004 was the first graduating class.
Not as long as Malden Medford. And, of course, Malden beat Medford. What are we going to do? Beat Medford. And
my parents were smiling up in heaven.
Oh, without a doubt. And I remember your dad, who was our high school principal, always leading the charge with Mr. Edwards. And it was like, what are we going to do?
Beat Medford.
Yes, absolutely. And, of course, the Malden-Medford rivalry is, the third oldest continuous rivalry in the United States.
I get stories that it's first, that it's second, that it's third. I don't know who's right, but
Well, Needham Wellesley. It's Needham Wellesley first, or is it Boston Latin, Boston English? I always confuse the two.
Well, that's part of the confusion is they create confusion to make this look the longest, So,
but I think what puts now that I think of it, what puts Malden Medford as the second oldest continuous rivalry is the fact that one of the years during the war, I think 1942. There was no game, but Malden and Medford played it, whatever. But if anyone in Paul Ponders land wants to chime in on
was that game in 1912 or whatever?
Right, yes, something like that. But anyways, I think Malden holds a slight lead over Medford.
Yeah, it's actually a healthy lead. I think it's about 20 games to Malden's advantage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't follow it as close as I used to. I have to admit.
Exactly. Well, when I think back to you're the answer to a trivia question, if you will. I believe that you hold the distinction of being the only Massachusetts elected official who has been elected to 4 school committees. Is that correct?
That is correct. Northeast
Metro Tech in Wakefield, the Malden School Committee, Silver Lake, and Pembroke.
South Shore.
Right. Exactly. So congratulations on that.
We weren't known as. I'm pushing that a little bit because we were going to see South Shore be part of. Pembroke will be part of that as the new school system is built in Hanover for South Shore vocational education students. That. It's going to be, there'll be some controversy over money and, the way it always is. But I think the people will do the right thing and, put together a good proposal to educate the students that don't have the advantage of that, the educational advantages of what a vocational school can provide, and that will be exciting.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And I know from past conversations with you and also with Major Sean Keegan, who's on the select board, we've talked about that, about the importance of education, and of course, your brother David is chairman of the Pembroke School Committee.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting debate all the way through. But David will always do the right thing as he perceives it, and he'll do the right thing. And Major Sean Keegan, is just you rarely find in a small town election somebody who's a real leader, and you've got Sean Keegan, who is a real community leader, and he'll do the right thing as well, I think.
Without a doubt. And also, too, we might as well talk about his wife, Kathleen Keegan, who
is such a joy to be
Absolutely.
around.
I've been in touch with her via cell phone, and I look forward to meeting her in person one day, but she's at Kay Keegan Realty, and she's starting up a newsletter, I believe.
Yeah, she's setting up a newsletter so that Pembroke can have the advantages of having a local paper again. We haven't had one since the Mariner went out, I think. So, you get positive energy from Kathleen, and you'll get fair treatment, and she's very nice to work with.
Absolutely. Well, I like her website, and I believe she has a tagline about expertise and enthusiasm, and that really shines through.
Yeah, and the people that work with her and for her, have a great deal of respect for Kathleen, and that makes you, more at ease when you think about, you've got somebody you can trust in a position that you need to have trust in.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And with that said, talking about expertise and enthusiasm, it is now time for the Pod Pro Entertainment Techie Toolbox segment with Techie Talonzo Amos and Ms. Shelley Wolf, global media firm owner of Toolbox Entertainment, Vice President of Technology Literacy for Pod Pro Entertainment, and a past Paul Ponders guest, episode number 35. Shelley, I believe you're on the line.
Good morning, Paul and Arthur.
Hi, how are you?
Good
to hear your voice again.
Yes, good to be back.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And I really mean that sincerely, actually sinceriously. I've submitted that word several times to Merriam-Webster, but sincerely and seriously, Shelley Wolf, you really bring a huge amount of expertise and enthusiasm to Paul Ponders, and I really appreciate you being on every week.
Well, it's my pleasure, and it's always nice to hear from the audience of some of the information that's being helpful to them, so that always makes me happy to hear.
Absolutely, and I am really impressed with the amount of people who are in fact emailing you and emailing me who want to get in touch with you and all, and we'll talk about that at the end of the segment as to what your contact information is. But I'm sure that you have a wonderful subject to talk about, to offer some really great tips.
Yeah, well, today we're going to focus on some holiday hacks, tech to reduce some of our stress. I was listening to Arthur talk about this paper that Kathleen's going to be doing, and, I think it's really important to have physical things that, those tech tools can help us. So as the holidays are a wonderful time, it can also feel like a marathon. And from grocery shopping to gift lists to travel plans and all that cooking, a lot can be just take one person off track. So for the good idea of how to use your phone and some of these holiday hacks, I thought I would share some tools that I use to reduce some of that holiday stress and to make holidays smoother, calmer, and more enjoyable. And we are going to start with one of the biggest stressors, which is that grocery store. It's that time where crowds, long lines, heavy bags are all avoidable. So if you want to think about online grocery ordering or pickup, it makes it so much easier. I mean, now pretty much every store has an opportunity, whether it's Walmart grocery, Market Basket, Instacart, Target, Stop and Shop, Whole Foods. You can order through Amazon. All of them offer, for the most part, especially like Market Basket and Stop and Shop, Target, they all have services where they not only will pick up all your groceries, you can just drive by and pick them up, or they can actually deliver right to your house. And some of the benefits of that is, right, your order's on schedule, you avoid walking around in all these crowded stores, people coughing and having, there are colds and all that all over you. No more heavy lifting, and they load your trunk for you. If you go and pick up, you get to save your list for the next time. Again, it's shopping early or late night shopping is even faster for pickup slots. And it's in their best interest to give you the best products and produce possible, because obviously they're going to want your business back. And so some may say, well, what if there's something I want that's not in stock? And the great part is usually they will reach out to you and ask you, like, what other brands you might want, or will this do? They also allow that in the app for you to prep ahead of time if you just want them to make the decision. Digital recipe organizers, right? Last week was a week where everyone was doing lots of cooking. And again, you might want to think about where do my recipes list? So instead of flipping through old cookbooks or digging out a recipe card, you can just do that recipe and modifying even recipes right in different apps. So you could use apps like Paprika. We've talked about that a little bit before. It saves recipes, but also creates your shopping list. There's Pinterest, where if you just want some great ideas. There's Google Keep. It keeps you simple. You can share recipes with the families. There's Whisk, which actually organizes your recipes and actually adds scale servings. So I know I was just hosting an event the other day, and we had to figure out how much to cook for 25 people. So, trying to figure out how much 8 pounds is from kilograms is, you got to figure out those serving scales. So that internet helps us. You can also take photos of those recipes that family members have left behind, save it, and no more wondering where you put it. It's right. You can create a photo album right in your photos and create all your recipes there and share amongst your family members. Smart gift planning. I don't know about you, but I find gift planning to be very stressful and can be financially draining. So I actually shop all year round. I'm not scrambling around. I can say I have not bought one single thing right now this holiday season. So deals do happen all year round, and I think it's just important to think about like how you want to spend your money, and if you want to avoid those crowds, right? Use a calendar on your phone for gift reminders. Order Mom's gift by December 10th, or mail out your holiday cards by this time. Again, try gift organizing apps. There's something called Giftster, which is great for families. Santa's Bag, which tracks budgets and ideas. And then, of course, there's the lovely Amazon List, which is simple and easy. Digital shopping, you can compare prices, track prices, avoid crowded stores, and save time and energy. One of the new things that's pretty hot out there, and I've actually been using it since I moved, are the delivery and shipping apps. You can keep track of everything. So believe it or not, the United States Postal Service actually has something called informed delivery, so you can see what's coming to your mailbox, and it also will pick up on packages that are coming to you. And that comes into your email every single day if you want it to. You can set up your preferences. UPS My Choice, reschedule and reroute your deliveries if you need to. FedEx Delivery Manager, you can add a doorstop instructions and leaves behind the plant. And extra tips, take screenshots of tracking numbers. Label shipments like kids' gifts or cookies to Aunt Mary, just so you know. So again, quick holiday checklist, order groceries online, save your recipes digitally, set some gift reminders on your calendar, and use shipping apps to track your packages. So again, for this week, just try one holiday tech hack. Maybe ordering groceries online and creating a digital recipe list will make you feel like you're one step ahead. A few small changes can take that stress out of this holiday season. So here's to a calmer and easier tech-assisted holiday season.
Excellent, excellent. Well, this is Small Business Saturday, and then we have Cyber Monday, and then we have Giving Tuesday. What about all those potential scams out there with nonprofits? Give Money Now, GoFundMe, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, again, I just remind people to be very, very safe. Determine what organization you want to donate. Go directly to their website, donate directly, and identify them before you list in. Again, we've talked about those terms of urgency, give now. Giving Tuesday is coming up. This gives you a chance to really think about what nonprofits and what organizations are really near and dear to your heart. Again, they're going to be collecting the money directly on their website, so make sure you go directly to their website. Don't click on the sponsored websites, and just make sure that it has the HTTPS :/ in your URL bar on a web browser, or that you see something that shows like a little key for what would be considered what's called a secured server. So you just want to make sure, again, you've identified it before making quick and rash decisions.
Absolutely. Arthur, I think you have a question for Shelley.
Well, it sounds like Shelley's done this before. She's a professional shopper, as she said, being a year ahead of time virtually. How is it something in your nature or in the nature of some people that others don't have, that you do things organized a set way all the time, and they can come into your office on Friday and it's as clean and neat and organized as it was on Monday, and I hate those people.
Well, I'm sometimes that way, Arthur. So don't hate me. There's a sense of cleaning, right? But no, it's I think for me, it's I've never understood this rush of people at the stores, and I think, as we get older, right, our time feels shorter, and so I'm always thinking, if I see something for someone that might be a great gift, why am I thinking about waiting all year long? I know their birthday is going to come up, or I know a holiday season is going to come up. I might want to give them a gift, or I just may want to gift it then, so I buy all year round, so.
Well, you're a good customer, too, then. Not only a good supplier, but you're organizing it and doing it right.
Yes. Well, and it also saves on that budget, so you're not like, I have to have a certain amount of money right at the end of the year, right? So, or my credit cards go skyrocket. Yeah,
well, those of us that don't control our credit cards at Christmas time pay for it right through March and April.
Exactly. So, and I think sometimes, you were talking about scams earlier. I think sometimes we don't realize is the stores, it's almost like this belief that they think you're getting a deal, right? So yes, they may be giving you like 50% today, but other costs may be real, right? So what I mean by that, so for example, I know Target, Walmart have done this, right? They'll put up a sign that says, sale, $15.99, let's just say, on, an item, right? And if you look at the price might be $15.99, but they've tricked you into this mindset of like they're giving you a deal, right? So we have to think about the fact that even our traditional stores and shops that we might go to, they build signs for marketing purposes that really make us think that we're getting a deal. So, but yes, you might be getting some deals on Black Friday and holiday deals and all this stuff marked down, but it's going to go right back up, or they might be lifting a price of something else. And I think what we have to remember and think about is if they're lowering it that much, what's the real cost of the item that we should really be paying?
That is so true. Well, Shelley, I want to thank you, and I'll say it again, but seriously, your expertise and enthusiasm really shine through, and I want to thank you again for being on. And how do our listeners in Paul Ponders land reach out to you?
Yeah, well, always a pleasure talking to you both. And, if people want to reach us, we can be found at info@podproentertainment.com.
That is fabulous. Well, Shelley, until we meet again next week, looking forward to it. We'll be talking about next week and season number 2 starting. But I want to thank you for being a huge part of this with the PodPro Entertainment Techie Toolbox segment with the illustrious techie Talonzo Amos and yourself, Miss Shelley Wolf, global media firm owner of Toolbox Entertainment.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you to all of you listening. And again, be safe out there, and happy holidays to everybody as we continue to go into this holiday season, and a huge shout-out to all the work over there at WATD.
# indeed.
# imagine.
Thanks, Shelley.
Thanks.
You got it. And as Arthur always says, it's not time to make the donuts, it's time to pay some bills. So let's hear from our sponsors.
Have you heard about Pembroke Collision? Price and quality don't often collide under the same roof. Not so at Pembroke Collision at 192 Manakesett Street in Pembroke. Pembroke Collision will work with you and your insurance company to get you back on the road in a safe and satisfactory vehicle. Put your trust in Ben Bastianelli and his crew at Pembroke Collision. Just call 781-293-4040 or find them on Facebook. Pembroke Collision, happy to work for you. Have you tried Bryantville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that's steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857.
Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were 3 deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back, and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. Our call-in number here is 781-837-4900, and you could also find us on the Odyssey app, that's AUDACY, And if you like Chef Felipe, you're listening in on that Odyssey app. So please download that app on your phone. And my daughter Ann in California listens to Dad, now Uncle Arthur, on the Odyssey app. So shout out to Annie. And also shout out to those nonprofits out there. You can reach me at paul@paulponders.com. I'm always happy to give a shout out to any of those nonprofits out there and promote your great work you're doing in the communities that you represent. And this is a twofold announcement, if you will. But next Saturday on December 6th, there's a dog park fundraiser for the MarshfieldDogPark.com from 12 to 4 at the Stellwagen Brewery at 100 Enterprise Drive. That's right down the street from WATD. And it's the 7th annual Pitcher and Pint with Santa. The Friends of the Marshfield Dog Park, a local 501c3, have been working hard at putting this fundraiser together. Registration through tomorrow is $25 and $30 thereafter. Al's Barbecue Food Truck will be on the premises, and there will also be a pet food drive benefiting the Marshfield Food Pantry and Marshfield Animal Shelter. And in celebration of the 1-year anniversary of this show, let's plan on meeting at 1:15 to 2:30 at the Stellwagen Brewery, and it will be great to meet any listeners of this show. I may even buy you a pint or maybe something from Al's Barbecue Food Truck. Maybe, possibly, quite possibly. But listeners can go to paulponders.com to find subscription links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, as well as finding past Paul Ponders and WATD shows. My next Paul Ponders podcast will be dropped tomorrow night with Kate O'Donnell, representing the Joey Fund. And Kate just did a wonderful job with her sister Casey and her mom in continuing the tradition, 41 years with the Joey O'Donnell film premiere. And Kate talks about the Joey Fund. It's a really great podcast. We had the benefit of, in fact, going to fundraiser that raised $1 million, plus hundreds of millions of dollars through the years have been raised by the O'Donnell family in memory of their son and brother. And the movie Eternity, I believe, just dropped yesterday to the public. It's a great movie and all, but really it's a great podcast we have with Kate O'Donnell. And one of these days, maybe we'll have Kate call in as well and talk about the Joey Fund and the wonderful work that the people in Natick are doing with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and all the money that they're raising to find that total cure for cystic fibrosis. And while I'm at it, a quick shout out to Mike on the North River for being there as a great supporter of the Joey Fund throughout the years and a huge benefactor and friend of the Joey Fund. So Arthur, 1 year, can you believe it?
Yeah, I believe it. I said right away when you started doing this that you were a natural fit and would be a great accent, a great influence on certain things that go on to you get I get tongue-tied here when you box me into an assessment of what's gone on in the past year. I think it's great to your credit that you've held over a great time slot, and you're doing great.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that, and I really appreciate the faith and trust that you put in me to have me on the Boiling Point, and then to make that introduction to Rob Hackala and to Mr. Perry, and just say, okay, this is what we plan on doing. And as season number 2 fast approaches next week, I really do want to have more local guests on, and I know that you're out there trying to get some guests for me, but also too with the Paul Ponders podcast, I would like to feature a lot of the great talent that we have here in WATD. This is a really great station, and it's obviously won all sorts of awards throughout the years, and it's something that we have something really great here. And next week, I believe December 6th to December 7th, I think is the 48th anniversary of WATD, and really it's just a great place to be.
Yeah, it's family-owned operation, and it's been in business, as you said, 48 years. It's a great asset to the town, and it's if you go back and look at the history of what Ed has given away in terms of airtime and emergency management assistance and that kind of thing, that I shudder to think what the number would be, but it would be a big one.
Absolutely. Mr. Perry's vision of making this happen, and with the people who sitting around. I love the story about how WATD came to be, those call letters came to be, and it's a great story to hear, and really it's a great place to be. But for the next year, we'll be having continuing segments and all this is really possible because of our sponsors. The presentation, Mike Payne. I want to have Mike Payne on from Northeast Supply Fence and Supply Corporation, where they have fences for their kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, which is a great branding tool and all. At Thanksgiving dinner, I was joking with my wife that, boy, I may be sponsoring this Thanksgiving prayer that I've been able to, in fact, asked to say, and it's like, no. She said, don't. I said, no, of course not. I won't do that. But it was one of those funny moments and all, and it's really just great being part of something really great here.
Yeah, and speaking of your wife, she's another bundle of energy.
She really is, yes. Absolutely. She really is. So, Arthur, what else do you have for us for topics of discussion?
Well, I didn't come prepared as I normally do because of the holiday, and I'll blame that on the fact that they schedule a Thanksgiving dinner right in the middle of football week. It's you got to set your priorities, and we get together and see the the Malden Medford game. We see the Silver Lake Pembroke game, and it's so old home week. The traffic. You get to be such a pro at this. You set the clock by, what time are they going to eat at your mother's house, and what time are they going to meet at breakfast for, the pre-festivities, and it's just great, and it's all so New England. If you give this information to somebody from Arizona and say a Thanksgiving football game, they're going to say what? It's
right. It really is something how we could just look at the localization and in the community members who in fact show up at all these events, the community events, the football games and all, and people who believe in that local programming, like a Brian Phil Pizza Kitchen, where we'll be dining afterwards. We'll be talking strategy and talking about next week and the 1 year anniversary. But shout out to Ken at Brian Phil Pizza Kitchen for doing a great job, for being one of our sponsors all year. It's been great. And Pembroke Auto and Pembroke Collision, Ben Bastinelli and Christine, just being their loyal advertisers, but really involved in the community, whether it be with the Rotary or Kiwanis Alliance, and just really giving back to the community. And that really holds true. When you go to one of the a football game and you see the program book they pass out, and there their names are. They're there. They're boosters, and they're really supportive of the area. And I think with Kathleen Keegan's newsletter that she's going to be putting out. I don't know how often it's going to be coming out, but she's going to have a lot of local supporters, and then of course you have the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce, who's out there, just doing a great job out there, it's really something.
You've got so many great businesses to draw on. That's the nice thing about the Pembroke, Marshfield, Hingham and Hull and Duxbury, and it's just so South Shore that I grew up on the North Shore, obviously, and had a long run on the North Shore, and came to the South Shore about halfway through my personal and business it's stopped me when I stopped.
It's all good on that, because it's really important for those businesses to, in fact, just keep on supporting. And what we'll do is we'll hear from some of our sponsors coming up, and then I guess we have Sharon Filia on the line. So we're going to hear from our sponsors, then we're going to hear from Sharon.
Have you tried Brianville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Briantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Briantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Briantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857. Have you heard about Pembroke Collision? Price and quality don't often collide under the same roof. Not so at Pembroke Collision at 192 Manakisset Street in Pembroke. Pembroke Collision will work with you and your insurance company to get you back on the road in a safe and satisfactory vehicle. Put your trust in Ben Bastianelli and his crew at Pembroke Collision. Just call 781-293-4040 or find them on Facebook. Pembroke Collision, happy to work for you.
Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were 3 deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back, and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD. Call in 781-837-4900. And also I was thinking about another advertiser who's really a big advertiser for WATD, and that's Tiny & Sons Auto Glass. And
his boys do a good job.
Yes,
1-888-64-TINIES.
Absolutely. Okay. Mr. Brown, I believe he's a member of the Lions
Peter
Club.
Brown,
Peter
yes.
Brown,
yes,
absolutely.
very active in the community. Great guy.
I had the pleasure of meeting him with Dave Boyle. It was the Salvation Army fundraiser, I believe, at the Walmart, and just a genuine man and a great community person.
Yeah, that was the high school bus drive.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you, Tim. Yes, short-term memory there. Now, at this point of the program, we have the new segment of Health and Wellness Survival Tips with Miss Sharon Filia. Today, the sponsors are the mortgage originators of Her Works Credit Union, Paul Criley and Dave Jensen. And in this new segment, Sharon helps our listeners navigate the sometimes difficult world of healthcare and wellness. Sharon will provide helpful and sometimes funny tips to assist with insurance and health professional protocols and easy lifestyle changes to support good quality of life. So we welcome Sharon Filia. Sharon?
Hi. How are you?
I am doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am calling from North Carolina today, just spending time at Thanksgiving with my folks. I hope all of your listeners had a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, and thanks for calling in from North Carolina. I wasn't sure if you were back in Massachusetts, but I really appreciate you calling 2 weeks in a row from North Carolina. We have Arthur Boyle on the line. I don't know if you've ever had the chance of
I've never
meeting
had the
Arthur.
pleasure of meeting her, but I look forward to the opportunity at some point.
Absolutely.
Oh, nice. That's great.
And you know the building at Malden High School, the building is named after Arthur's dad, Arthur Boyle Sr. building.
Wow, that's wonderful. That is really amazing. Congratulations on that. What an honor.
Yeah,
What an honor.
It's quite an honor, and it's been up there 40 years this year. So
Wow.
we take a lot of pride in it.
That is great. It's a great legacy for your family.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt. So, Sharon, in the 10, 11 minutes we have, I'm sure you have some wonderful health and wellness tips. Absolutely.
Yes, I do.
So take it away, my friend.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about stress and how it relates to health. And just to preface, all the information, or most of the information today, is culled from the Journal of the American Medical Association, the Cleveland Clinic, National Institutes of Health, and let's get started. So stress, as we all have it, can be physiological, psychological, biological. That is, it can affect your body chemistry. There are various ways that all of us undergo stress. Can you imagine the number one stressor, the most pernicious stressor that one can undergo? Do you know what that is?
Arthur, do you want to take a shot at that one?
Is it a marriage or the birth of a child?
It's the death of a spouse, number one. So there are other stressors: separation, imprisonment, like say if you want to start a prison sentence, injury, chronic injuries, marriage, the actual action of getting married is a stressor, job loss, financial issues, moving to a new location, even, as you mentioned, the birth of a baby, starting a new job, and also being tired. Being extremely exhausted is also a stressor. Now, the danger with having sustained stress or chronic stress is that it can affect your physical health and your mental health. So you can actually develop anxiety disorders, psychiatric disorders, as a result of being under, chronic stress. So not to be too fatalistic about this, but let's talk about ways to abate or help to alleviate stress, because this is important, especially this time of year. We're going into the Christmas, Hanukkah season, holiday season, money issues, the economy, the geopolitical landscape has everyone up in a tizzy. So one of the easiest things you can do is to meditate. For some of your listeners, they may call this prayer, taking time to just slow down your breathing, quiet your thoughts, and try to empty your mind for a few minutes. This is why activities like Tai Chi, yoga, are very effective at lessening anxiety. Another little known dietary modification one can make is to limit the amount of caffeine if you are under stress. So caffeine can exacerbate anxiety, if that makes any sense. So say if someone suffers from chronic anxiety disorder, your doctor or your counselor will say, try to cut back on the caffeine. Also, getting enough sleep. Getting enough sleep is very, very important. You can play music, your favorite music. You can go walking. Even play, you know how sometimes people get together and play cards, a little poker, a little gin rummy. All of these things foster a sort of relaxation response because you're doing something that is enjoyable. You also may really, really love animals. Taking your dog or cat or your skunk, whatever you have for a pet, for a walk.
Right.
Anything that can divert your brain's cognitive focus from the anxiety to something more pleasant. So over time, chronic stress can lead to or contribute to things like cardiac arrhythmias, diabetes, coronary issues, muscle pain, headaches, fatigue. All of these things can stem from stress. So although we can't eliminate all stress, we can make lifestyle changes to help mitigate it. Having a loving family is one of those ways. This is why Thanksgiving is such a wonderful time of year. To be with people with whom you love, relaxing, eating, laughing. That can do more for your physical state than any medication can.
Wow, without a doubt, you speak so well on the subject matter, and I believe that the underlying basis is that PMA, that positive mental attitude that one needs to have. Is that correct?
Correct. Now, there is a gentleman that I have followed for many years, Dr. Marty Seligman from the University of Pennsylvania. What Dr. Seligman coined was the term learned helplessness. What this theory suggests is that when an individual feels there is no way out, there is no way that they can help themselves, they will fall into depression. This can lead to, as you can imagine, very dire situations. So learned helplessness can be something like someone has diabetes and they have neuropathy, they can't walk, they can't exercise, they get depressed, and they feel as though there's nothing I can do, this is it. So this learned helplessness can lead one into depression. Little known fact, whenever an individual has heart surgery, the physician generally always prescribes an antidepressant after. Generally after major surgeries, depression sets in. Now, the sort of opposite of this is learned optimism. So Dr. Seligman also studied this, and it says what you just mentioned, Paul, positive mental attitude. This can be taught. So a person that kind of goes to that road of depression can be taught to, okay, we're going to alter that thought pattern and divert it towards a more optimistic view. And this can, again, lead to better health, better interaction with family, all of these things. Depression presents differently generally in men than women. Women, this is generally speaking, women generally tend to cry, get upset. Men tend to get angry. So when you see someone who's angry, it might not be that they're angry. They might be depressed.
Interesting. But again, with that positive mental attitude, it's really definitely more than being just an optimist where the glass is always half full. It's something, it's about the attitude, and the attitude, I believe, is everything.
Correct. And also, you can trick your brain by doing this. Let's say you're in the house and you are depressed about something that just happened. By changing your environment, getting out of the house and going to the park, going food shopping, anything where you change your environment can have a positive effect, because now cognitively you have different stimuli, right? You're looking at different things. So this is a way neurologically, biochemically, to kind of shift the wiring of your brain from depression towards, maybe it may not mitigate all the depression, but it can help to abate it. So this is why having great friends is so important. To be able to call a friend and say, hey, can we talk? Can I come over and say hi to you? To change your environment, to have someone to talk to. Everyone needs at least one person that they can speak to without judgment to get things off your chest, to get rid of the stress, to help sort of talk things out. This can sort of provide a stopgap from falling into that deep hole of chronic depression. Now, depression can be biochemical, of course, and you would need to see your psychiatrist or your therapist to have good medicinal therapies for that. However, when you see generally people that self-medicate with drugs, alcohol, gambling, it is generally done to self-medicate an existing issue, which is usually depression or anxiety.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sharon, in your as we start to wind down, and we hear all these great words of wisdom, and this is part of your Fill Fall Protection Method YouTube video. So, if you want to let our listeners know how to contact you, that would be awesome.
So my YouTube channel, you can look up Sharon Senior Fitness Workout or the Fill Your Fall Prevention Method. And I'd just like to provide a tip that I gave before. Because general practitioners are leaving the field in droves, remember, all of your listeners, if you need to see a doctor immediately, go to urgent care. Don't let a GP's office, we're going to book you out 6 months. Go to urgent care. You can be seen, get necessary blood work, and the necessary specialist referrals if indicated. Urgent care can be found throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Just look online, but that is your fail-safe. Don't wait for the appointment with your general practitioner. You get thee to an urgent care facility so you can be seen right away.
Awesome. Well, Sharon, I thank you for these great words, and I really appreciate you calling in from North Carolina, and hope to see you real soon.
I'll be heading back in a couple of days.
Looking forward to it, my friend. Well, thank you, Sharon Filio.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the day. Safe travels.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Thank you. Arthur, any final words before we turn this over to Ron Dwyer?
I'm looking forward to hearing from Ron Dwyer. I've been without him for 2 weeks, family conflicts and things, and we missed having Ron around, so we'll make up for it today.
Absolutely. And with that, Ron Dwyer, the grand poobah of oldies rock and roll. Ron, you are a true leader of the pack with great musical memories of yesteryear. So thanks again, Ron. Listeners can go to paulponders.com to find subscription links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, as well as finding past Paul Ponders and WATD shows. Thanks again to Tim, executive consultant, and Arthur, Shelley, Sharon, and our advertisers. But really, thank you, listeners in WATD world and beyond. Thank you for a great run of 52 shows. Looking forward to season number 2 next Saturday at 12:09 p.m. Keep Paul pondering. #Indeed.